Hello and welcome to the Evolution of the Fempreneur podcast, the go-to resource for women who want to grow a successful business. Our mission is to empower and support women on their entrepreneurial journeys by providing valuable insights, practical tips, and a supportive community of like-minded women. Each episode of the Evolution of the Fempreneur podcast features interviews with successful fempreneurs, business experts, and thought leaders, as well as a solo episode from our host. That's me, Wonderful Morrison, brand and marketing coach, business expert, and online business educator. If you're already on your entrepreneurial journey and seeking to take your business to the next level, the Evolution of the Fempreneur podcast has something for you. Join our community of empowered women and gain the knowledge, skills, and confidence you need to succeed in your entrepreneurial endeavors. Thank you for tuning in to the Evolution of the Fempreneur podcast. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another amazing episode of Evolution of the Fempreneur, where women of a certain age get together and have conversations about what it means to us to evolve into who we are today, from who we were in our 20s, our 30s, our 40s, and then some. And how has that affected who we are as entrepreneurs? So my guest today is somebody I met a few years ago in my home state of Washington State. And I knew she was on the health and wellness sector of the industry, but I didn't know the magic of who she was until we got to know each other a little bit. And I thought, you know what? She needs to talk to my audience because so much of health and wellness gets a little too serious. Okay, there's only two real directions it goes. It gets a little too serious, or it gets a little too woo-woo. Not anything wrong with either. But sometimes we need to hear from someone that has this level of excitement from both spaces where the rest of us of the world go, well, I'm not really sure. Do I need that or do I not need that? So without further ado, let me introduce my beautiful friend, Abby Nickerson. Welcome. And please tell us what it is you do, where are you from, and tell us everything about you.
Well, thank you, Wonderful, so much. I absolutely appreciate the opportunity to be here with you and to share. So yes, the whole health and wellness world can feel overwhelming, and it's definitely a world that I've been passionate about for a long time. So starting from a young age myself, really wanting to live my best life, wanting to live into my older years, physically able to still travel and do things. So I've already had that within me since I was young, wanting to live my best life in that sense. And so, it was already like the age 12 that I started learning about the mind-body connection. I was introduced to Louise Hay.
Wow.
Affirmations. Yeah. So at a young age 12, I was already looking at what's my physical body telling me and what mental process might be impacting that. And I feel very fortunate because I had a chiropractor who, because of some scoliosis I have, he was the one who really inspired me. Abby, if you want to live a long life and, less pain and feeling good, he was the one who taught me how to do that through stretching and exercise and regular massage and chiropractic and postural awareness. And so I just really listened to that and continued doing that in my life. And then I was about age 27. I thought, I want to help people feel as relaxed and wonderful as I do when I get a massage. And so I went to massage school, and that was in New Jersey, and became certified there, later became licensed in Arizona. So I've been practicing healing body work for over, 20 years now. And
so let's go back really quick here.
Sure.
Ladies, did you hear what she said when she said I was about 12? So definitely this is your calling, right? Because first of all, when you were 12, what was that? The 90s or the late 80s, right?
Goodness,
Probably the early 90s, right?
That was the late 80s. Yes, that was about 88.
So here we are talking about who even knew that stuff? Because I remember in the 80s, people weren't even aware of how and what AIDS was. And you're over here connecting your mind health and body health. That's so impressive that that was even a thing. I mean, I was just trying to figure out whether I should smoke a cigarette or not at 12 years old, like, come on. Like, that is quite impressive. So then you get through all of that and you get into your refined years of your 20s. And again, ladies, us of this generation in your 20s, were we really thinking about this? Absolutely not. But Abby's over here getting into massage and overall health for yourself. And then walk us through the journey of the many places. Like you said, you're from Arizona, you went to New Jersey, you ended up in Washington where I met you, you've been to Hawaii. The journey of this, not just an awareness of how physical movement, but you moved yourself into, walk us through that journey of why that evolution needed to be in the pathway for you.
Sure. So two things are coming up for me. So right around that same age, 27, 28, when I was going to massage school, I came across this holistic mentorship network. And so it was a bunch of holistic providers getting together. And it was within that group that I really began to understand more about what I had been experiencing and the sense of being an empath and clairsentient and being able to feel people's emotions. Wow. I think part of what, in addition to me wanting to live my life as healthily as I could and share that with others, I remember as a kid being very disheartened that I just felt like there was so much sadness around and going, I hope people can be happier and healthier, and so this holistic mentorship network helped me to understand how to energetically clear and ground and protect my energy so I could start to decipher between what was mine and what was everyone else's, so that's part of what assisted me with having a deeper understanding of some of the gifts that I was born with that's connected to the work I do today and how to navigate that. At the same time, I moved around a bunch. So yes, as you said, I'm born and raised in Arizona, most of my life here. Went to New Jersey. That's where I began going to massage school. Came back to Arizona, went to Washington where I met you, was in Kauai, was in Michigan. And so with, what the next thing that really helped me to start to shift, well, I guess a couple things here. I started having some seizures when I was in New Jersey, a few years after I'd gone to massage school. And so now already being in this place of believing that there's a mind-body connection, and now I'm learning a bit more about some intuitive empathic gifts I've been given, I thought, okay, I don't want to be on medication. And I started that's when I started clearing out chemicals. I started understanding what I was putting in my body, putting on my body. And that began a real big journey, because the other piece of that was I used to really be a major people pleaser, perfectionist, worrier, fearful. And so
it's really coming out now, folks.
And so part of the other side of me looking to heal myself from the seizures was looking at that anxiety, that worry, the fear, and looking at the mindset. And so it was this combination of, okay, let me work on that aspect. Let me also work on reducing chemicals. And that really kicked off a big journey for me to start to unwind a lot of programming around that stress and that anxiety. And part of where we're connected, you and I, are at is PSI seminars. And so fast forward, taking several of the PSI seminars courses were the next level that really helped me to go deep within, to really start to bust open any limiting beliefs, anything, any patterns not serving me. And part of that along the way, I had really hidden a lot of the energy healing techniques and the intuitive gifts that I share today, because I was afraid to be too weird and woo-woo. I was afraid to not be accepted. And so I kind of hid a lot of that. And as I continued to do my own healing journey, then I unwound a lot of those insecurities and perfectionist tendencies and people pleasing, and really learned how to start stepping into who I really am, honoring that, and knowing that then within that, I have these gifts now that I can share, not only the energy healing work, also my own journey of self-healing. I've been able to I mean, over the years, it's not felt easy. However, I've healed myself of chronic pain, chronic depression,
Wow.
anxiety, seizures, SIBO, chronic migraines, chronic allergies, all of these things that I used to struggle and suffer with,
Wow.
all been a combination of this healing journey, and then where I can now step out to really help others along the same, with some similar things.
Wow. That, so many, what we're considered this age group between, 40 to 65 is we're considered this ageless perennial generation. But we're also part of this generation of the X, where we were latchkey kids. Our parents were there, but not highly involved in our emotional growth or emotional understanding. And so much of what we're learning today is about all this trauma being held in our bodies and how it's affecting our diseases of our, physicalness. But that also is now the big language has been around a lot of mental health. And it's fascinating that you've been going through this journey on your own via your personal journey prior to even any language or any conversations or anybody having great big awareness of it, right? Like
Yeah,
when the Olympic athlete, the Olympian, the gymnast, decided not to continue on because of her mental health being about self-care, it shook the world. Let's be completely honest. It shook the world because nobody understood what that meant,
sure.
right? And I just want to honor this space that this is what really brought me to be like, oh, I've got to have this conversation with you because you have this real level of excitement about it too. Of this is whether or not you want to, it's spewing out of you to share with the world, right? So now walk us through that evolution of, how now being an entrepreneur, now you have your personal journey, then you decide to run a business doing it. And then what does that all look like in terms of also that past of perfectionism and right that's a whole big like tangled web of stuff.
Yeah.
Share with us that journey.
Sure, sure. So I think, you make a very excellent point that we as a society, I personally feel have failed in a lot of big ways in the sense of not
Mm-hmm.
teaching people how to navigate stress, how to navigate difficult emotions, trauma, healing. So many people, end up suppressing all of that. And
Oh.
right, we learn to shove all that down. And it breaks my heart because that's part of being human, and so much
Mm-hmm.
shame and guilt that's out there. And so, you know, over all the years that I practiced massage therapy and body work, 'cause I did massage more so for about 15 years, and then, well, not even that much, 13, 15 years, somewhere in there. And then now I've been doing more of the energy work the past 7 years. Throughout all those years, one consistency I have found is people having physical pain with an emotional or mental root cause. And
Mm-hmm.
this, this was part of me learning to accept my gifts of being able to read that information from someone. And so I think with my own journey and then consistently working with people over the years that are having more of an emotional
Mm-hmm.
cause to the physical pain and dis-ease, as you said, really has been a major driving force of that excitement and that passion that you feel for me,
Mm-hmm.
because I've always wanted to help people. And over the years, it's interesting because probably honestly, the first 40 years of my life, many people saw my gifts more so than I did. It took me to
Oh.
back and go, okay, Abby, why are you doubting yourself? You've had person after person after person say, oh my gosh, Abby, I feel so safe with you. I love that I can be myself with you. I love that, I can trust you. You're not going to judge me. And, people over the years always seem to be drawn toward me because they felt safe. They felt like they
Mm-hmm.
could express some emotions and share some things that a lot of people can't handle.
Mm-hmm.
People get uncomfortable a lot of times, right? When you start to talk about trauma and guilt and
Oh
shame,
yeah.
abuse and emotions. And so I think really the combination of my personal healing journey and my desire to help other people really is what's helped me to start to break down some of those walls, because for my business, it was very safe in massage therapy. Everyone knows massage therapy. It was easy to have clients. I was easy to have my business. When I shifted to energy work only, everyone kind of goes, oh no, I don't know, what is this? And now you want me to be vulnerable with emotions. And so it's a whole level of healing. And so it really became this passion of mine. And part of, you'll see within my name, is the Haven Maven, which, because I really work to create this sacred space for healing. And for me, then it took two things. It was letting go of fears of seeming weird or misunderstood. And it was also the perfectionist part of me had to let go of not having all the answers and just continuing because otherwise I was not moving forward in my business at all. I was wanting to have it all figured out first. And, rather than go, no, Abby, just start and it's going to evolve. Just doing something is better than nothing. Having something, whether it's perfect or not, is better than nothing. And so, does that answer? I could talk.
I love that. I love that, because I think so much of us, female entrepreneurs, surrender is a tough space. Surrender, because we've sort of navigated how to exist, been fighting for our space for generations, right? Our grandmothers fought for space, and then our mothers fought for their own, to take up space. And so we kind of have inherited this struggle bus idea of like, we're taking up space. And the thing about entrepreneurship, especially when you come from an industry of wellness and health and mental health and emotions and healing, so much of what we need from you is the surrender piece. And you have to represent that before we can do it, because it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. So, and that's where I really connected with you and really felt that, like, oh gosh, first of all, we met in an organization that was demanded sort of our surrender in order for us to grow. So that was a really safe space in itself. But you just, how you're showing up is so authentically who you are. Whenever, like, every time I saw you move somewhere, I'm like, what is she doing now? And I think so much of us admire each other for the things that we want to be, we want ourselves, but can't see it unless we see someone else in it. Sure. And I think that the healing journey is terrifying for so many of us. So we have to be able to see it in someone else before we can embark on that journey. And I just want to thank you for that. And that's why I wanted you to share your story, because so many of the healing journey has got to come from you first, right? And you've got to be on the other side of it, not while you're still. I heard a saying once that it's tough to tell a story from your wound. It's better to tell it from your scars. And I feel like that's where you're at. You've really, because you're back. You've made it full circle, right? You're back home, in your home state, and you're doing fantastic there. So what about the rest of us who don't live in Arizona? Is the healing journey still, does it still work for us? Even, do we have to go to Arizona? How does this whole thing work?
Sure. Yeah. So I think, first of all, thank you for all of your acknowledgments. And I agree with you. I feel for me, I really do aim to walk my talk. And I love that I can share from that journey and show that it's possible, and sure, and to be that support along the way when it's maybe feels, very challenging to be in those moments. So the beauty of energy healing and the work that I do is it can be done from a distance. So if you're in Arizona, absolutely, then you're able to see me here. I work out of Scottsdale Acupuncture. However, I also have clients in several different states, and we do phone sessions. Usually, if I've not met someone first, we'll connect by video. That way we can see each other face to face. However, it's all able to be done through a distance, which I love. That's something else that's been a passion of mine, is how can I support healing and do it from wherever I'm at and with people wherever they are. So just the same way, it's kind of like how you'll think of someone, next thing you know, they call, and you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of you, and the ways we can communicate and connect through technology, energy healing works much in the same way. And when you complete Reiki Master training, you're attuned to a distance symbol that supports that distance transmission. And we have that ability to project through time and space. And so I connect with people through phone, video, or in person.
I love that. I love that you even brought it into sort of this quantum speak of like through time and space, because for me, it's got to be like logical, like logically, how does this work? But I have I have enough knowledge of that to be like, okay, that is really something I can get behind. You're not talking so like, I have no clue what she just said. Because I think that's another piece, right? I think so many of the healing world assumes we know what the speak is or the language is. And the truth is we don't. We just know little variations of it or the surface versions of it. You've got to really allow us to hear how that connects to us in terms of, like you said, if somebody right now is listening and is a massive perfectionist and is trying to really get their business off the ground, what would you suggest would be their top 3 things that they need to move forward? And especially if they're hearing everything you're saying, going, oh my gosh, that's me. That's
Sure.
me. I have that same kind of ailments physically, like, but have no clue about the things that you kind of already connected to pretty intrinsically, right? As a young person, what would we do in that way?
Well, and that we'll see it. So I have my thoughts, and it'll be interesting to see the response, because I don't know if it's what maybe anyone would think. The very first thing that helped me to start to get out of my way and move forward and be brave and being who I am was literally telling myself, I love you. And I had been
Oh,
raised, I know, see,
that's good.
in fact, it was my father who for years was like, honey, please, please say I love you to yourself more often. I wish you would do that. And then it just didn't click at the time. And I remember a point when I actually had this feeling of, if one more person tells me to love myself more, I'm going to puke in their face. I remember feeling that charged. However, I ended up watching a video that just sparked this connection. And in that moment, I'll be honest in saying that I was committed to telling myself every day. So I basically every morning and every night, and anytime I started feeling down or afraid, to say, I love you, whether I did it out loud, internally in my mind. In the beginning, I could tell I didn't actually believe it. And it was kind of interesting to go, wow, okay, I'm just going to keep making myself say this though, because what can it
Yeah.
lose here, right? And I will tell you, Wonderful, that was the first shifting point of me really beginning to connect with myself, was simply saying, I love you to myself, whether I believed it or not. And I took it to, in the beginning, I would only say it in my mind. I'd wake up, I'd say it a few times. I'd say it before I went to sleep. And then I started challenging myself to look in the mirror and say it. And then I started challenging myself to go, okay, well, why do you love yourself? And the more self-love I created, the more confidence I had, and the less I cared what anyone else thought, the more I cared about the connections I had, who and where was I giving my time to. So number one is telling yourself you love yourself, whether you believe it or not, whether it seems silly or not. Bringing that deeper self-love absolutely builds that confidence and that foundation for feeling capable of doing anything.
I'm
And
taking on that challenge right now, as a matter of fact.
good,
So,
good, girl.
okay.
Because it really was life-changing for me. And it was something that I had been advised to do for many, many years. So that was huge. The next big step was letting go of what others thought. And that required a lot of self-talk. Yes, that was going, okay, I'm going to make this move regardless of what anyone in my world thinks, especially those closest to me that I was most concerned about, feeling judged by. And that the PSI seminars courses that definitely helped with that for sure. And it was just this continual process of, okay, I am going to start asking myself what I want, making choices based on what I want, not what I think others think I should do.
Yes.
And just that positive self-talk that I would continue to bring through myself. You know, Abby, okay, I recognize you're nervous, you're uncomfortable with this, you're afraid you're going to be judged. It's okay. Do you want to do this? Yes. Okay, girl, then let's move forward and let's practice letting go of what anyone else may think, even if you're the only one. And so that's step 2 for me. That was another one that
Wow.
perfectionist, people pleaser. Well, I guess that was more the people pleaser, right? So it was
Right.
you start practicing letting go of what other people think. And then the perfectionist part of me going, Abby, just take some steps and move forward. Just start taking some steps and keep moving forward. You don't have to have everything figured out. So that's the third one that I would say is just start moving forward. So for instance, I challenged myself to do 12 live videos on Facebook. This was, oh gosh, this was maybe 5-6 years ago, without having any preparation. It was for me to get comfortable being imperfect, right? I might fumble. Sometimes I had makeup on, sometimes I didn't. I would take a few seconds to think of the topic I was going to do, and I would just do it, and I would post it, whether I thought it was perfect or not. And that helped me to start break down those walls of, okay, it's not about perfection, it's about progress.
Right.
To see what works, see what doesn't work from a place of observation versus judgment, right? And
Right. Oh, that's good.
yeah,
That's good, because I think that's another thing we are plagued with as women is judgment on ourselves, not from anybody else. Like, let's take that off the table. Like, just from ourselves, right? Like, so many things, so many women say things. I am a victim to, oh, but I can't just stare at myself. Like, because then you're nitpicking, you're like nitpicking your own face, your hair, your whole thing. And it's like that level of judgment on us is preventing us from being the support that others need, and how our gifts and talents can serve the greater good,
yes,
right? Is that.
yeah, and you're so right that particularly women in general, there's way more pressure on women to be perfect, to look good,
Yeah.
faults, right? And so we take all that on. And you're right. This was something else that I started that helped me along my way, was stepping back and going, Abby, is anybody saying any of these things to you that you're
Oh,
criticizing for, right? And it was like,
that's good.
everyone was only saying, everybody loves Abby. I always love being around Abby. She always helps me feel better. I was the one that was not feeling enough and not feeling, and I would have all these reasons why I wasn't enough and I tell you what, though, that's where those I love yous helped.
Yeah.
Starting to go, okay, I'm going to be brave and be me, regardless of what someone else thinks. And then I'm going to get comfortable being, imperfect, just loving every part of me, regardless
Yeah.
of how it may seem to others, So yeah, I think there's
Yeah.
definitely more pressure on women, and we're naturally, we care about other people and we want to put others before us. And so it's also learning that it's not selfish to
Right.
healing time to yourself, to work on your own internal healing, to unwind beliefs and patterns and programs that aren't serving us, that's holding us back, right, from really
Yeah.
bringing our light into the world. Yeah.
For sure. And I think this is like the space of health and wellness that I wanted to bring to the audience, is to um gain it from someone that is walking the walk on a regular basis, right? Because that's the thing, is I think it is a new space, right? It's let's be completely honest, this is how our our forefathers existed in the world. There was no such thing as pharmaceutical, like what do you synthetic drugs back in the day. It was all really herbal health. That's how we all started our existence, what, 4 billion years ago, right? However, it's been kind of skewed because money gets in the way, and it becomes this thing where it's like, how much can we create from wealth and not, but really at the end of the day, we all serve each other for a greater purpose.
Yes.
And I think the most fascinating piece is You started at 12. It's kind of like me as an entrepreneur. I don't think it was anything I ever goaled to be.
Mhm.
It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I've just been one since I can remember. I just remember being a kid, you know, selling things. My very first story is I had hair clips. And when one day, because back in the day, remember those plastic hair clips? It'd be two rabbits or two whatever. When I lost one, my mom would put the single ones in a jar, and she'd go buy the matching ones. And I would just start putting them on my dolls, and then I'd sell them to my neighborhood kids of like, oh, here's, I don't know, 5 cents. I don't even remember. But my whole goal was to get to ice cream. When the ice cream man came, I wanted to have my own. I didn't want to have to wait for my mom to tell me whether I could have it or not. I just wanted my own cash.
Yes, I love it.
But who knew that that was the thing, right? Who knew? But that's what I'm saying in terms of your journey has been so self-led that makes you the master teacher, that makes you the master of what you do, is because you've been walking into your calling since the moment you can remember. And that, I think, is the beauty of what makes you the Reiki master that you are today, and the healer. I mean, I know you're not just, um, you don't just do that. There's many other things that you do. So anyhow, as we're ending this conversation, because I could talk about this forever, because I'm so curious about this, and especially just your own journey. But we're gonna, bring into a close here with, let's just talk really quickly what you believe is today's definition of the evolution of wealth as a healer, as wellness and health individual. What is that to you? What does that mean to you? How would you define that today?
Sure, sure. I think, for me, really, it's a much bigger picture than I would have thought years ago. And so much of it is my own personal journey of really seeing wealth as so much more than money. It's
Mhm.
that inner peace. It's that authenticity, that alignment with who we are, operating from integrity, meaning that we are staying aligned with that authenticity, right?
Mhm.
And moving forward and having that trust and faith in who we are, and how we're serving, how we wish to help and serve others, and that ultimately is what creates, for me, that's what's becoming the evolution of wealth within my own life. Is it's more than just money. It's this bigger picture of wealth, abundance in all
Mhm.
aspects, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and how that expands out into the rest of the world as well.
Oh, what a great way to end this, because really that's what we're here to do, is expand who we are into the lives of others that need it, right? Because you recognize at a really young age that there's so much sadness around you. And through your own journey of cleaning that and releasing all that space, you found love within yourself that now is literally what you give out to other people through healing, is the love you feel within for yourself. And I love that. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for what you're doing out in the world. Thank you for making sure that we connected and you said yes when I reached out. So thank you for that. And ladies and gentlemen, we will have all of her information in our show notes so that you can get a hold of her if you're in Arizona or not in Arizona. As you can tell, energetic field is our entire existence, the whole world. The whole world is an energetic field. So she can heal from all over. So thank you so much. Until next time, everyone, go out there and make great choices and love on each other, and let's do good for the humankind. Until next time, bye. Then Lead Her Biz Academy is the online business education platform for you. Our strategically minded and purpose driven approach will equip you with the tools, knowledge, and support you need to build a successful business and achieve your goals. Now, why women specifically? Because when women earn more money, we not only have more influence and choices, but we also create opportunities for others. and building a successful business allows us to support those we love and the causes we care about most. At Lead Her Biz Academy, we understand that women are already strong. That's why we focus on helping women unlock their authentic power and their capacity to attract wealth and impact other women. We believe that feminine presence is the key to unlocking your full potential as a successful female entrepreneur. So if you're ready to take your business to the next level and unlock your authentic power, join us at Lead Her Biz Academy. Let's make an impact and build profitable businesses together. Thank you for tuning in to the Evolution of the Fempreneur podcast, where we empower and support women on their entrepreneurial journeys. We hope you found value in today's episode and feel inspired to take action towards your goals. At Lead Her Biz Academy, we believe that every woman has a potential to achieve her dreams and create a successful business. Our community of like-minded women provides a supportive space for learning, growing, and connecting with other fempreneurs. If you're already on your entrepreneurial journey and seeking to take your business to the next level, consider joining Lead Her Biz Academy today. Our programs, courses, and resources are designed to help you develop the skills, mindset, and strategies you need to succeed in your entrepreneurial endeavors. Thank you again for listening to the Evolution of the Fempreneur podcast. We'll be back soon with more insights and inspiration to help you thrive in your business and life.